has to bring back like the best memories from when you played here at Stanstead. They were really good in those years.
They were really good.
Really good.
Well, their whole coaching staff was on that team, so on those teams. Really good.
Didn't he play in the OHL with the jog? Who? Kid with the jog? Or the big jog?
Yeah, I do see that. He played in the OHL, Ridley played in the OHL.
Ridley was pretty salty.
He was a good player, yeah. He was a really good player. They had a lot of really good players those years.
I always thought they had a good goalie.
Yeah, they had Evan DeBrouwer, who went to play at Arizona State, and then they had, that was my first year. My second year, they had a kid named Chris Monaco, who ended up playing in the O. So, yeah, they're always good. They're always able to get a lot of good Ontario guys. So. Kind of all over on their roster.
Well, they picked up a few kids from a program that folded. They picked up they fired Dan, Darren Midley. Darren.
Yeah.
A few kids transferred from Lake Forest. That's why you see Illinois and Pennsylvania. That's huge.
Wait, Lake Forest is done? Or?
No, I think they fired the coach and then a couple kids said they're going to go somewhere else.
I see. I still see that though. They're still in the MPHL though, right?
Yeah, they won.
Yeah. I checked in on that the other day because I think they advertised over for playoffs or something like that. So I was wondering who's still kind of running show in that league. What? Yeah, Goodman. I know RNS left.
We need 10, 11 hours to get there.
Oh yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
That's like their New England.
Yeah.
So much easier coaching and standings.
For sure.
Well, this is morning about the pathway play, so we gotta use those standings. How many viewers?
Oh, a little bit. I mean,
Welcome back to the Pat Burns Arena for Day 2 action of the CPSHA playoffs, hosted by Stanstead College and Bishop's College School. This is Game 1 of the second day and final day of round-robin action as we have Stanstead against Ridley. Stanstead in their reds, Ridley in their road blacks. As this one will get underway, Stanstead winning their opening game against RNS last evening, and Ridley falling to BCS yesterday. So big game for both clubs as they look to secure their spot in tomorrow's action, as that faceoff was won by Malloy and put in deep by Gans. In on the forecheck hard is Hayden. Hayden out front, no one home, but that puck gets back to Shepard. Shepard's shot, that goes wide of the net. Foot now with it, as he will put that puck in deep for Gans, but that is out of his reach. And now the Tigers look to break out. Ooh, big hit along the wall there by Malloy as he finishes his player, but that puck does get out into neutral zone to Shepard. Shepard to Foot. Foot back over to Shepard as they retreat back in their end. Up to Gans. Gans will move it back to Foot, and Foot will put that puck in deep as Picard out to play the puck. Picard, the starting netminder for the Tigers tonight as they look to get up ice, but that puck is, that errant pass goes back to Orr as he moves up to Dobos. Dobos shipping that puck in and chasing after it, but that's slashed ahead by the Ridley defender. Puck still on the wall as that gets moved around. This is Wolf with it as he moves the puck up, but that over a stick as Orr puts one to net, and that goes wide. Rebound in front, and that is fanned on by Dobos as that puck now out into the Stanstead bench as Bork gets it to Mustinen in the neutral zone. Mustinen getting that deep. Picard to play it. Picard up the wall to Gilbert. Gilbert looking to chip it ahead to Nukwana, but that gets back to Gilbert. Gilbert playing catch, now getting it back and up to Nukwana. He tries to go through the middle, but that pass is errant and will go all the way down the ice for icing. A reminder that we are playing with hybrid icing rules this weekend, so Chaz Fauché having to skate that one out to be first to it. Also, no changing on icing, so the defensive team having some tired players out there. And another wrinkle is that the centerman can pick whatever side the draw the faceoff starts on. So Bonin electing to start to the left of Picard as that puck goes back to the point, and Borg sends one towards net, but that goes wide. Here's Gilbert with it. He gets it up the wall. That gets turned over to Bonin. Here's Bonin with at the goal line. Bonin goes up top to Fauché. Fauché to Bork. Bork looking for a lane. That gets blocked. Rebound. And that is like, here's Labo on the high slide. He turns and shoots. That's blocked. But now Ridley away with it. It's Nukwana as he gets the red line and not able to get it deep enough as Bork transitions with it now. Bork skating with it. He gets to his back end and he will shovel that one in below the Tigers' goal line as Stewart with it now as he gets it to the wall. And that puck just out of the reach of Giannetti. And that will not go for icing as Giannetti in hard in on the forecheck. Chasing Max Shepard. Shepard able to push up the wall, but that's turned over. As here's Piche with it. Piche will get it back to Stewart. Stewart will throw it down for Giannetti. Giannetti pinned by Shepard, but that puck working to his teammate. That puck still behind the Stanstead goal as Lavoie chops it ahead to Banks. Banks up the wall, but Giannetti there first. Puck up top. Shot. Loose puck. That is blocked as Bonin will retrieve it, and he'll send it to the weak side as Chalifour with it. Chalifour up, but that's cut off by Foot, who will flip it into the Ridley end. Here's Stewart with it now as he stops behind the Ridley goal. Stewart scanning, motioning. He'll give it up to Miller. Miller over and across to Chalifour as he'll dump that puck in. Or back to get it. He'll try to reverse the fall as that puck goes out in front, but no one home. And here come the Spartans as Banks with it now. Banks, he gets chased. He tries to get through his defender, but that's cut off. And here come Ridley as they try and chip that puck ahead, but here's Piche with it as he'll get the puck back to Burchette as that gets moved ahead and rimmed around as Orr's forced first to it for the Spartans, but that puck gets put in low to Baker. Baker still wrestling for it behind the net as Stanstead now regains possession with Orr looking to move it, but he gets cut off by Miller, and that puck will stay in the Stanstead zone as Logan now back to it. Logan to Orr. Or looking for Gans, but Gans first down there, so he'll beat out the icing, but it's Picard moving that along the wall, and now the Tigers move it up quickly, but Fauché now back on it first for the Spartans in their end. That puck gets turned over up the wall as that get moves back to the point. Here's Burchett with a shot. Tip, scores! Seemingly harmless shot from the point, but a very nice deflection there by the Tigers net front player. That'll be Will Walker getting the goal on the shot from Burchett. And the Tigers have an early 1-0 lead as they score on their first shot of the game. That tip going through the legs of the Stanstead starting goaltender Andrew Shimon. As good start here by the Tigers. That puck will get moved to Wolf as he's closed off, and here comes Gans with it. Gans, shot, saved by Picard. Here's Gans back with it, but that will be turned over on the wall as that puck's moved ahead and dropped to Walker, the goal scorer. Walker's shot, that goes wide. Will be kept in, no. That's just outside the Stanstead blue line, so Ridley will have to touch back up as that's moved up ahead to Gans. Gans to Malloy in the middle of the ice, but that's turned over, and Ridley will look to attack. Here's Nikwana as he dumps the puck in. Shepard back forward first for Stanstead as he looks to break the puck out. He'll move it to Moosonen, and Moosonen will flip it rink wide, just a little behind Gans, so he'll have to stop up, and his only play is to rim it in as Picard stops that puck behind the Ridley goal. We'll go D to Gilbert. Here's Gilbert with it now. He'll put it back behind the net for Gurin. Gurin up the wall as that's turned over in the neutral zone to Arrigo, and Stanstead now with it as Foot will dump that puck into the opposite corner. Here's Gurin back with it. That fans on that touch as Moosonen will sauce one over to Foot. Foot on goal. That's blocked in front of the net, and Nikwana will claim the rebound. Nikwana back with it now. He'll get it to Gurin. Gurin up the wall, and that'll get chipped in by Partridge as he was falling to a knee. Shepard spinning away from his forechecker as he'll get that puck to Arrigo. And now Moosonen with it. He'll give it back to Arrigo as he's chased down by Partridge, so he'll have to retreat. Arrigo flipping one as now DeSantis with it. Stanstead having some trouble breaking out of their end as they push the puck board to board. As now that's turned over behind them, that puck out front. No one home, but here come the Spartans as DeSantis pushes the rush ahead. DeSantis kicks it out to Moosonen. Moosonen glides in. Moosonen curls, drags. Glove saved by Picard. Good bit of speed there by DeSantis to push the pace up ice, and a good kick out pass to Moosonen, who tried to change the angle of the shot on Picard, but not fooling the Ridley goaltender as this faceoff will come to his right. 13:32 left in the first period. As that faceoff won by Stanstead, but fanned on by Lavoie off the shooter set. As it's pushed into the neutral zone now. And Orr looking to move the puck ahead. But he's bothered there by Heisey, and he gets taken down the ice, no call. As that puck's moved to the wall by Lavoie, but moved low to high by the Tigers. That shot's put on net, and that goes in. Clear shot from the point, finds a hole through Shimon, and Ridley will double their lead. This is Kyle Stewart with the goal. Tough start here for goaltender Andrew Shimon as he lets in the first two shots he sees tonight. Let's see how the Spartans rebound from this one. As Logan out to take the draw now for the Spartans. Logan will lose that draw as that puck is moved back to the Ridley defenseman. Here's O'Brien with it, trying to put it deep. That's turned over to the goal scorer, Stewart. As now it gets to Chaz Fauché, who puts that puck in deep as Kyle Stewart back with it now. He'll move it over to Gilbert. Gilbert overskates it as Banks turns the puck over. He'll throw it out in front, but that goes through the crease and no one home. Ridley looking to break out again as this will get to the wall and out. But Bork try to put that one back in as Gilbert collects it for Ridley. Gilbert up to Miller on the wall. He's cut off there. But Gilbert retrieving back to Stewart. Stewart back over to Gilbert, up to Baker on the far side. Here's come Miller in. Miller over. And that shot's fanned on by PSHA as they had a pseudo 2-on-1 there. Here comes Logan across the line with it as he'll put one on net, and Picard will freeze up for the whistle. Another dangerous chance there by the Tigers as they came in. Apologies for the technical difficulties there, but we're in Arena. As now there's 11:40 left here in the first period. That shot will go on goal by Foot. And go high and wide as this battle will carry on in the Tigers' defensive end. As that puck goes in front of Foot, and he bumbles that one. Otherwise, he'd be able to get a good shot on goal. Ooh, and then another shot on that hits the back of Gans' helmet and will go out of play. So Logan Foot trying to get the Stanstead offense started there. But that puck going into the end netting, so we'll have a face-off to the left here of Maxence Picard, the Quebec native, so I'm sure he'll have some friends and family in the building today. As that puck is won by Ridley and moved ahead to Partridge. Here comes Partridge with it. He'll give it to Nakwana. That's poked off his stick, and we'll get out of the zone. As this is Gurham to Gilbert, back to Gurham. And Gurham will come in as he sends it ahead to Nakwana. That gets deflected, and here's DeSantis with it now. DeSantis reversing the puck to Orr, who pushes the puck to Mustonen. Mustonen over to DeSantis. DeSantis through the middle, but that's too far for Mustonen, as Gilbert will go back and get it for the Tigers. Gilbert skating now. Gilbert up to Partridge, and Partridge will flip that one in on Shimon, who will play it to Orr as that puck gets turned over. Here's a shot from the point to Gurham, and Shimon will make his first stop of the evening. As that shot from the point found the webbing of his glove. And the faceoff will come to his left as we approach the halfway mark of the opening frame. PSHA on the draw for Ridley, as he will lose that draw as Shimon pushes that one to the corner for Lavoie. But it's PSHA again with it. PSHA dragging, but that's poked again behind the net by Shimon as this puck will go low to high to Gilbert. Gilbert with a shot, and that goes wide as that puck gets back to Gurin and down to Giannetti behind the net. Giannetti will give it to PSHA. PSHA now climbing. PSHA trying to rim it in, but that's turned over to Bonin. Bonin will put that through his legs. If there's a race for it now, it'll be Gurin back for it for the Tigers to prevent any dangerous opportunity there as Gilbert will collect now. Here's Gilbert. He'll high flip it into the neutral, and that's knocked down by Fauché, and that will go for a hand pass. So we will get a stoppage in play as the faceoff will come in front of the Spartans bench. This will be Miller taking the draw for the Tigers against Logan for the Spartans as Logan wins that one. And as he pushes that puck back to Bork, as Bork chops it to the wall for O'Brien, and he chips that puck in. Picard out to play it, and he'll move it on his backhand across to Chalifour, but that's turned over on the wall. But now Chalifour regains the puck, and he'll skate ahead. Here's Chalifour. He'll dump and chase as Miller replaces him on the forecheck, and he runs into Bork behind the net. Couple bodies flying there as that puck gets pushed to Banks as he gets hit hard by Chalifour. And that puck will stay in the Stanstead end, but that dumping gets right to Fauché, who'll give it to Bork, but kept in by PSHA. Here's PSHA down the wall. PSHA will cycle it down to Baker, who will give it to Miller. Miller, he gets bumped, so not unable to get out in front, as Fauché will get it to the wall to O'Brien. O'Brien looking to get that puck out, but kept it again by Baker. On the wall, that puck is trying to get to Baker out front, but unable to do so as O'Brien gets it to Logan, who will flip it just in front of the Tigers bench as Miller puts that puck cross ice. And here comes Wolf with it now. Wolf dropping it back, but right into the fresh Hayden entering the ice, and we'll have a 3-on-2. Here comes Gans, dropping it to Hayden. Hayden shot, that's blocked. Rebound in front, loose puck, lying just in front of the crease, but that gets cleared away by Walker as that puck gets put in deep by Gesink. And Malloy collecting it now for Stanstead. He'll give it to Gans on the wall as he chips it ahead for Malloy, but good battle there as Gans winning that one, and he'll move that puck ahead. Gans chipping that in deep for himself, but he's tied up there as that puck gets worked around to DeRoche as Ridley comes ahead with it now as Walker with it. He'll put that puck in deep, and he'll challenge Shepard for it in the corner. As on this puck gets put in front, but that's picked off by Malloy as he'll flip this one out of the defensive zone. That puck gets worked to DeRoche, who transitions it quickly to Walker. Here's Walker down the wing as he cuts in, but a defensive play there by Foot to knock him down to the ice as this pass will go the length of the ice for icing. 7:36 left in this first period. Shots now 5-4 for Stanstead. As this faceoff will come to the left of Sydney, Nova Scotia native Andrew Shimon. And this will be Cameron White on the draw for the Tigers, but he'll lose that draw. But gain possession after some hard contact in the corner. And we'll have our first penalty of the game today, as it'll be Dylan Orr going to the box. Oh, excuse me, it'll be Ridley going to the box. So Stanstead will be going to the power play here, as number 3, Chase Partridge, will head to the bin. 2 minutes for head contact is the call. So the Spartans power play will get started here. A big point in their first period as they look to get on the board and cut this Ridley lead in half. Malloy, Gans, Foot, Shepard, Hayden out there for this opening unit as this puck is won by Malloy. And Shepard will move it across to Hayden. Shepard to Foot. Foot down to Hayden. Hayden back up to Foot. That just evades him and will go back in the neutral zone. So the Spartans will have to restart their attack as Shepard dumps this one in. But it's Gilbert back to it first for Ridley, but good footwork there by Foot to keep the puck in as that will go down to Hayden, and one touch cross ice, but that's out of the reach of Shepard. So once again, the Spartans will have to tag back up as here comes Shepard, and he'll rim that off the stick of Gurin. So that one not making it all the way around as Picard tries to ice that one, but that's cut off by Hayden and sent back to Foot. Over to Shepard. Shepard to Foot. Foot down to Hayden. Hayden to goal line to Gans as he tries to stuff that one home, but Picard sealing the low part of the net there, so he'll cover up. 49 seconds elapsed in the penalty to Chase Partridge. So the next unit will come out for Stanstead. It is Bonin, Mustonen, Dobosh, Orr, and DeSantis, as this puck is won by Bonin off the draw, as Orr will push that puck down as he falls. That puck gets worked around to Bonin. Bonin back up top to DeSantis. DeSantis over to Orr. Orr shot, saved by Picard. As Bonin with it now off the rebound. Bonin shooting, that goes wide. Let's see if Orr can keep this one, and he cannot. So this will kill some more time for the Ridley PK. As Orr enters back in, he'll stop up and he'll stop up a bit too early, and he'll go offside. 39 seconds left in the minor penalty. So, and this faceoff will come right in front of the Tigers bench as Bonin lines up to take the draw. Bonin against Piché. Piché will win that one back to Stewart. We'll give it to Shalleyford, and Shalleyford will get that puck all the way down the ice. As Orr will be first back for Stanstead. Orr will start the breakout. Orr to the wall to DeSantis. That's out of his reach. And that puck was in question there, but Orr able to get back and recover. Orr now with it again as we enter the last 10 seconds of this Power plays Orr stops up, gives it to Bonin. Bonin now working on the wall. Bonin back to Orr. Over to Dobo, scores! With 1 second left on the power play, it's Bonin up to Orr, who slides it over to Dobosh, who hammers the one-timer past Picard to cut the Ridley Tigers lead in half. Now 2-1 Ridley, as we are at the 5:29 minute mark remaining in this first period. After some trial and error there by the Stanstead power play, they're able to figure it out when it matters most and capitalize on the last few seconds of their opportunity. As Bork not able to get the red line here off the center ice faceoff, as that now will go down for icing. So this faceoff will come back into the Stanstead end. As they elect to take the draw to the right of Shimon, as Miller digs in for the draw. He'll win that puck back to Wolf, and Wolf will rim it around to PSHA. But Bork giving him a bump and pinning that puck against the wall as it's still on the boards. And eventually won by Ridley. It's Miller over to Wolf. Wolf circling back. Wolf across to the far side for Miller, but that's out of his reach. And now Fauché looking to out front, and that is blocked. As Fauché with it now. He turns back, but he's bumped again. And now Piché with it behind the net. Piché up the wall and pushed back down by Burchett to Piché in the corner. As his player gets taken, now it's Baker getting dumped to the ice. As now Miller with it, looking to go low to high, but that's cut off by Baker as he puts it back down for Miller. And now Fauché with it for the Spartans. He'll put it off glass and out of the defensive end as that puck gets worked across to Burchett. Here come the Tigers quickly off the transitioners. Here's Gasink with it. Gasink gives it to DeRush. Here's Gasink with it. Shot, save, rebound, save by Shimon. Of a dangerous opportunity there. Shimon with 2 quality stops there, but Ridley maintains possession in the Spartans' defensive zone. As here's Dubé with it, and he'll get the puck ahead to Malloy. Malloy, and here comes Arrigo one-on-one. Arrigo in, shot. That's off the stick of Wolf and wide, as Burchett will get back with it and give it to Wolf. Here comes Wolf, skating ahead. He'll reverse it all the way back for Burchett. Burchett now moving it ahead and tipped into the Stanstead zone, but not getting the red line, so that will be an icing call. And this puck will come back into the Tigers' end. This faceoff will take place to the left of Picard as Tanner Hayden lines up for the faceoff. Malloy lining up to his right in the shooter position. Let's see if that works out for them, but that draw will get lost and put off the boards to the line to Foot, and we have a 2-on-1. Here's Walker with it one. Walker in, Walker dragging, shooting, saved by Shimon as that one got through him, but the goaltender able to reach back and cover up. So big save, big past few saves here by the Spartans goaltender to keep it a 1-goal game. As we have 3:23 left here in the first period. And Gans and White lining up to take the draw here. Draw won by Gans, back to Foot. Foot will put it up the wall for Gans as he chips it ahead and through as Hayden now has it one-on-one. Here's Tanner Hayden. He'll get a shot off, but that's deflected wide. And Partridge back on it. He'll flip it to the line as Foot will keep it in and put it into the corner for Hayden, but Gurin able to race ahead of him, but here comes Malloy down the wall. Brody Malloy in, back to Hayden. He fans over to Gans, but that's poked away as Partridge will skate back with it. Tigers have 3 as Nikwana breaks through the D. Nikwana hooked, but able to get a shot away and a good pad save there by Shimon. As he as that whistle will go as the puck was lying underneath him. So another good save by the Stanstead goaltender. A bit more back and forth action here now as the period winds down. This faceoff will come to Shimon's left with Arrigo and Piche taking the draw for their respective teams. That draw is won by Piche, but that's chopped out by his teammate and Chalafour back to get it. Chalafour over to Stewart. Stewart up ahead, but that's kicked ahead by Orr. And now put into the air in the neutral zone as both teams try to get possession as that's moved over and then dumped in by Heisey. Now here comes Stanstead with it as Arrigo will chip it ahead, and Chalafour and Dobos meeting for a collision, but Dobos wins that one, and he'll put that puck into the Ridley zone. Here's Dobos again within the neutral zone. He'll move it ahead to Moosonen, who rims it in. Picard out to play that one as he moves ahead to Stewart. Stewart flips it ahead for Heisey. He'll touch it ahead for Piche. Here comes Piche with it down the wing. Piche working on her. He'll stop up, look towards net, and that puck is tipped wide. DeSantis with it now, and he'll move that puck up, and we'll have another penalty here as we will have, looks like Juuso Moosonen for the cross-check. So the Tigers will get their first power play opportunity of the day with 1:53 remaining in this first period. So Coach Mike McCourt will send out his starting unit as this draw is scrambled and one back to Stewart of the Tigers. He sends it over to Partridge. Partridge back to Stewart. Stewart over to Nakwana. Nakwana down the goal line. Goal line walk in front, but that misses. Here back to Stewart. Over to Nakwana. That shot's blocked by Fred Bork, and the Spartans will be able to clear as Lavoie sends it down the ice. Picard to stop it for Stewart. Here's Stewart with it now. Stewart to Nakwana. The far side back to Nakwana as he'll rim that puck in. And around for Partridge. Partridge down to Gesink as Walker comes in to help, and he'll separate his man for the puck. So Partridge able to grab it to Stewart. Stewart towing the blue line as he'll move it over to Nakwana. Back up to Stewart. Stewart over to Partridge. Glove saved by Shimon on the one-timer by Partridge. Shimon really settling into this one after a tough start. As we are now 50 seconds left here in this opening period. This faceoff will come to the right of Shimon as Piche will take the draw. Piche will win it back to Gurin. Gurin now looking to set up here as he walks the blue line. He'll move it over to White, who will give it back to Gurin, and they'll go down the goal line for Piche. Piche up to White, over to Gurin. Gurin to DeRush. DeRush up to Gurin. Gurin shooting, and that Shimon sticks that one away, and that'll hit the netting for a whistle. So about a 7-second difference between penalty clock and game clock. So assuming the Tigers don't score here, they'll start the second period with a 7-second power play. But here comes White to take the draw against Gans. White will win the draw back to Gurin. Gurin walking. Gurin looking for a lane. Gurin trying to get the puck to Heisey, but that's blocked away as DeRush with it now. DeRush down to Piche as that's lifted off his stick and then sent down the ice by Malloy as now 10 seconds left in this opening frame. Picard will come out to stop it, and he'll set it for Gurin. Gurin with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0 as we will head to the first intermission. 2-1 Tigers. Shots now 11-8 for the team from St. Catharines, Ontario, as we'll be right back. Welcome back for period number 2 here at the Pat Burns Arena. Matchup between Ridley and Stanstead. Ridley out to a 2-0 lead on goals by Stewart and Walker. But Stanstead answered back on the power play with Dobosh scoring for the Spartans. As we enter this second period with Ridley having 7 seconds left on a power play. With the penalty to Mustonen as he looks to rejoin his squad as that draw is controlled by the Tigers and flipped into the Spartan zone where Shepard will put it up the wall. That puck gets moved to Gesink, who puts it down to DeRush and will give it to back up the wall to DeRush. That's moved down the wall and now pushed off the puck to Shepard. Shepard ahead to Hayden now as Hayden will circle back with it. Here comes Tanner Hayden as he cuts through. He'll move the puck over to Malloy, who will fire it in on Picard where he gloves it and holds on for the whistle. This faceoff will come back to his left as Malloy will line up to take the draw as Mike McCourt's group sends some fresh legs out there. Malloy loses that draw as it's flipped up and into the neutral zone, and Shepard will put that puck off the stick of Gans and back into the Ridley end as Picard rims it around. This is moved to the middle for Partridge and gets dropped back to Gerhan, who flips it in. And Partridge chasing after it as he gets taken down behind the net. Malloy now with it. He'll chip it to himself, give it to Gans, and he'll get it to Hayden, who just gets a touch on it and into the Ridley end as he pressures Gerhan for it. He'll give it to Gilbert. Gilbert chips it off the linesman, and so that'll stay in as Gans with it now below at the goal line. Gans will try to get it up, but that's cut off by Partridge, who will flip it the length of the ice, and that'll go for icing. So face-off coming back. Face-off coming back into the Tigers' end. Some jawing going on between the benches about icing particulars. But you'll have a face-off to the left of Picard. As that puck is won back. And now Heisey going ahead with it, but he'll turn over at the blue line to DeSantis as Mustonen pushes that puck to the wall here to Dobosh. Dobosh will try to win that back as Orr first to it, but he's pressured by Heisey and he'll cause a turnover as that puck gets to the line and just past Gilbert for the offside. So this puck will come, face-off will come outside of the blue line toward the fan section. Looked like a good contingent of Ridley fans out in Stanstead, making the 8-hour trek. But that puck is put in by Ridley as they'll chase after it. Here's Orr with it now for Stanstead as he'll stop behind the net. Orr to Dobosh. That goes off the skate of Giannetti and stays in. So Dobosh looking to break that puck out again. He chips it, but that's knocked down by Heisey on the far side. Dobosh will give it to Mustonen, who gives it to Orr. Stanstead kind of hemmed into their zone here as the good job by the Ridley forecheck as Orr skates away with it. Orr coming ahead. Orr entering. That's stripped from him, and Ridley looks to get ahead, but that's sent back to the Stanstead defenseman DeSantis. Here comes Gabriel DeSantis with it as he cuts through the middle, but that's turned over to PSHA, who flips it high in the air through the feet of Orr, but he'll find it and give it to Dobosh. Dobosh to Mustonen. Here comes Juuso Mustonen off the rush. He shoots. That's a blocker save for Picard as that puck's chipped out into the neutral zone, and Bork looking to put that one back in. That's picked off by Stewart, but now turned over to Lavoie. Lavoie battled the line for it, and that's wisely shot back by Dubé to the Stanstead D, who moves up to Bonin. Bonin back to Lavoie, down to Bonin. Bonin at the goal line, walking, rebound, out front, still loose, scores! That'll be Shane Dubé with the goal. As a really nice move there by Max Bonin to drive that puck to the net. And after a few whacks, the loose puck lying at the side for Shane Dubé to clean up. And it's now a 2-2 game. Shane Dubé, his first goal with the older team. Dubé, a call-up for today's game, so nice to see him get on the board there. As Lavoie and Miller will take the ensuing center ice draw, as that's won by Miller. But it is messed around there, but that puck will end up back to Wolf, who will chip it ahead. Cut off there on the wall by Fauché, and he'll get that puck deep. As Wolf back to it first for Ridley. Big hit there by Bonin on the Ridley defender. Is that to Dubé again in the slot, and he misses the net that time, as that puck will rim around and poked ahead by Bork. But that's flipped ahead by Baker. Now Dubé with it in his own end, but Miller works that puck in deep to Fauché. Fauché up to Dubé on the wall. Dubé chipping that one by his man and looking to get that one in the middle, but that's picked off by Piché, who will send it back in the Stanstead zone for Bork. Bork throwing it up the wall, but that's turned over. And now chipped into Bork's feet, so scramble on the half wall there, but that's won by Ridley. Here comes DeSink with it, but he's defended nicely there by Fauché as he puts that puck behind the net. And Bork will get it. Bork knocked down there by Baker, but teammate able to get that puck to Banks as Banks looks to drive wide. Big hit there by Brichette to knock Banks off the puck as Ridley looks to get away, but that puck will go into the neutral zone where Logan will put it deep as Picard out to play. Picard will rim it up the wall to Baker. That's kept in by Logan though, but unable to do it a second time. And now chipped in deep by DeRush. Shepard last one back for Stanstead, but he moves it smartly over to Banks. Banks looking to go away, but that's turned over as DeRush gets it to Gesink. He'll drop it to Gurin. Gurin down the wing. Gurin stops up. He's looking for DeRush, but unable to do so as that puck gets to Parker Banks. And so he'll give it back to Max Shepard, and now Stanstead looking to exit. Shepard over to O'Brien on the far side, but that's broken up, and Gesink puts it back into the Stanstead. And for Shepard. Shepard up to Banks. That's off his stick, and Gurin will get it. And he'll put that puck into the corner. Shimon out to stop it for Shepard as he's pursued. But he's able to move that puck up and out to the red line. And that's where it's put back in by Gilbert. Shimon with it now. He's pressured. He'll put the puck up the wall to Banks. Banks still out there on a long shift as White pushes this one down the wall. And that's back to White over to Partridge. And another great save there by Shimon. This puck still in the Stanstead end as Logan looking to sort it out as he looks to get that puck out to Banks, but that's kept in. And now finally Logan able to chip that out. So we'll see how many guys Stanstead get on the change here, but really looking to take advantage of stretch pass up to Partridge. Partridge in. Partridge still with it. He scores. Bad change there by the Spartans as all 5 players in red came off. So good awareness by the Ridley defenseman Gilbert to fire it up to Partridge, who only had really one back checker to beat. And he chips it over Shimon as Ridley restores their lead here in the second period. And we'll line up at center ice again as Partridge gets that puck in deep. Or with it, he'll move it over to DeSantis. DeSantis up to Gans. Gans ahead to Malloy. Malloy able to chip that one by his man as Stewart retrieves that puck as he's chased there by Hayden. Stewart will get it over to Gilbert, and we will have a Ridley penalty here, as that was Malloy falling down. And this will be Nagwana for interference. So with 13:49 left here in the first period, Stanstead will go to its second power play of the game. Already successful on their first opportunity on the Mate Dobos goal. But it will be Gans' foot Malloy, Hayden, and Shepard to start for Matt Thompson's team. See if Stanstead can tie this one up here. As that faceoff's one to the wall, where it is battled heavily as this puck gets to Gans. He'll turn back at the goal line, but he falls down. Gans still with it, and he'll give it to Malloy. Down to Hayden as that gets rimmed around to Shepard. Shepard now over to Foot. Foot to Hayden. Back up to Foot. Foot shoots. Scores! Logan Foot from the point on the power play. That one goes bar and in as Stanstead makes quick work of the interference penalty to Nikwana. And we're all tied up here at 3. Hard to stop the puck when you can't see it, as the big body of Emmanuel Gans was parked right in front of Maxence Picard. And similar to the Stanstead game last night, it looks like we have a bit of a barn burner on our hands, as it's now 3-3 with 13:21 remaining in the second period. So this faceoff's won by Ridley to Gurin. Gurin coming through the neutral zone. He'll put that puck in the corner where Foot will retrieve. Foot will chop, but that's to Piché. Piché working that puck up to the point and over to Gurin. Gurin looking for a lane. He'll find Piché in the slot, and that's just chopped on net and sticked away by Shimon. And now Moosonen flips that one out to the neutral zone, but Dobosh unable to advance it any further. As Gurin will get it over to Gilbert. Gilbert ahead to Heisey. He'll let that one go through, and here comes Piché. 2-on-1. Piché shoots, scores! Piché with a beautiful curl drag and shot, finding the far post and in. And Ridley regains the lead. It's now 4-3. Of note, this is Etienne Piché. Ridley having 2 Pichets on their roster, Etienne and Victor. Etienne, number 21. He will get the goal there, the assistant captain. And we will line back up at center ice. The ensuing faceoff here. And here comes Bonin off the following drive. Bonin shot. That goes just wide to the blocker side of Picard, as this puck will go back all the way back in the neutral zone for Bork. Bork will move it ahead to Lavoie as that gets tipped in. But a delayed offside here for the Spartans, so they'll have to go tag up. As this is Gilbert skating ahead with it. Gilbert now entering, dropping, and now fired into the equipment of Dubé. And now Spartans have numbers away as they're in 3-on-2. That pass by Lavoie hits a Ridley skate and will jump back, but puck battled for at the blue line here as Bonin will try to put it low. Still in the Ridley zone, but finally poked out. And here come the Tigers once again, but that's overskated by Piché. And now that puck gets sent in on Shimon, where he'll leave it for Bork. Here comes Fred Bork with it. Fred Bork making a move. Bork now coming to the red line and firing one into the opposite corner, where Chalifour will be back on it first. Chalifour up to Piché. He looks cross ice to Baker, but that's through his feet, as Bonin gets knocked down hard by Chalifour. And he'll retrieve the puck and start the Tigers breakout. Here comes Chalifour. He fires that one in, but that will end up going for icing. Some displeasure there by the Ridley bench as they're arguing that Shimon came out to play the rim, which I do agree is the correct call. But we'll see what happens here, as this faceoff will come to the left of goaltender Picard. The referees will now convene to make the appropriate call. So face-off coming back to where they originally placed it in the Ridley end, and that face-off's won, and that's hammered through by DeSantis, but that's off a leg and wide. As Orr pinches down to get it, he'll try to get it by Chalafour, but that's kept in. And now flipped to the line, but kept in by Orr. Orr now with it. Orr off a stick, and that goes off the glass. As Banks will collect it on the far side. Here's Parker Banks with it, trying to push ahead, but that puck is sent to Walker, and now over to Chalafour. Chalafour coming in as he bowls over his defender, but Logan back to it first for Stanstead. Logan trying to get it ahead, but that's turnover. Turn shot saved by Shimon. As that puck out front for a shot and a save by Andrew Shimon. Him making that goal, the Stanstead goaltender making a couple of very nice tidy saves there. Shots now 17-13 for Ridley. Certainly not a goaltender-friendly game at this point, but both goaltenders doing what they can to keep this one tight. Gans taking the draw for Stanstead. He'll win that one and flip it ahead. As that puck is over to Partridge on the far side. Partridge to net, and that's deflected and put into the corner. Big hit there by Foot as he drives his man into the boards. No call. As that puck gets worked ahead to Gans down the wing. Gans shooting, but that's broken up by Wolf. And another big hit there by Hayden. And looks like Ridley will take exception to that as they pummel Tanner Hayden. Now we got a wrestling match in the corner. Probably as close to a fight as you're going to get in prep school hockey as the linesmen jump in there quickly. As those two are still going at it. And some heated words exchanged. So we'll see what the penalty fallout is here. As Hayden laid the initial hit on the Ridley player, I couldn't make out what number the Ridley player was, and Wolf jumping to his teammate's defense, grabbing onto Hayden and getting into a bit of a wrestling match there, but it looks like we will play 5-on-5 here. So both players off on coincidental minor penalties, I believe. We'll see how long they end up staying in the box for, but 5-on-5 action. This faceoff will come into the neutral zone as White wins that one back to Ridley, or back for Ridley. And Shepard puts that one in where Gilbert will collect behind the net. Gans chopping it over, but no one home as Gurin retrieves. Gurin stepping out. He'll give that to Gilbert as he flips it ahead to White through the middle. Here comes White. White over. Big save by Shimon as Ridley manufactured a good 2-on-1 opportunity. This puck will go all the way down the ice for icing. Andrew Shimon with his biggest save of the evening. As I believe that was Nakwana with the shot on goal, but great pad save there by the Stanstead netminder to keep his team within one. But off the icing, this faceoff will come back down to his right as Malloy now set to take the draw. Malloy against Piche. Malloy will win that one back to Shepard. Shepard rimming it around for Gans. Gans. And we will have some more players being sent off here as this is going to be Bonin and Giannetti, each with a roughing minor, as this one getting a little heated. Always can expect a full score sheet when Ridley and Stanstead play each other. Definitely one the timekeeper has circled on his schedule, as Gans will line up to take the draw. Still 5-on-5, as Gans will win this one back to Foot. but now controlled by Malloy as he has CPSHA on his back, but he'll move it ahead and to the line where that's put on net by Gilbert and gloved by Shimon. So 9:30 left here in this second period, just about halfway through this contest, just over halfway through this contest, as we'll line up in the defensive zone again with Malloy and CPSHA. As this draws one all the way out of the zone, and Gans will race Gilbert back for it, but Gilbert back to it first as Gans pressuring. Gans will get the pin on the boards behind the Ridley net as Lavoie comes in to help. Lavoie trying to put it in front, but that's played by Heisey over to Gurin. Here comes Gurin with it now. Gurin, and he'll drop to Gesink, but that is broken up by Stanstead captain Brody Malloy as he looks to break out, but he'll turn that one over to Heisey. Here's Heisey. He's turning. Heisey, that's blocked as Foot pushes that to the corner. Foot up the wall to Lavoie, but he's closed off, and Stewart will send it back below the goal line as CPSHA with it. CPSHA sends it out front. That puck stays to the side of the net, but now brought behind the net by Lavoie, but turned over there to CPSHA as Gesink comes in, and some heavy hitting down there on the boards as Ridley player gets knocked down, and the ref will finally blow his whistle. As more pushing and shoving continues after the whistle. This is Gesink and Shepard now getting into it. As no further action is taken by the officials. And we will have another face-off in the Stanstead defensive end, as this will come to the left of goaltender Shimon. Arrigo and Miller out to take the draw for their respective teams. Arrigo winning this defensive zone draw, but it's Ridley controlling the puck as Miller with it. He'll send it up to Stewart. Stewart over to Chalifour. That gets deflected on the way to goal, and Shimon able to position his body so he absorbs that one. Kind of a tricky one as Chalifour sent a changeup on goal, but we'll reset and redo here as Miller and Arrigo take the draw, as that's one through the feet of Arrigo and possessed by Ridley as this goes back to Stewart at the point. Stewart walking. Stewart trying to look for a lane. He'll fan on that one and push that one behind the net for Miller. He's pinned there by Fauché as Arrigo gets the puck now behind the net. Arrigo to Miller. He's pushing the boards there by Fauché as Fauché kicks it ahead to Mustonen, but he's pinned off there by Baker. Back to the point, over to Chalifour, back to Stewart, but he's unable to hold the line as that puck goes in the neutral zone, and he'll rim that one around and back to Shimon, who plays it to Bork, but that's off his foot, and that bounced dangerously in front of the net, but no harm, no foul, as this puck's turned over to Dobosh. And Dobosh loses the handle. Maybe not even expecting that one, but now Ridley ahead with it, as they'll give it ahead to CPSHA, but that's ahead to Miller as he gets knocked down to the ice by the Stanstead defender, and here come the Spartans as Dobosh pushing this one ahead, but he'll turn it over to Miller, and Mustonen will strip that one back and send it back to Orr. Orr up to Mustonen as he'll cross the blue line with some speed. Mustonen down to Arrigo, who will push it in deep, but it's Burchett there first for Ridley as he works it to Stewart. Stewart now to the middle for Gesink as he's cut off there, and that puck gets moved back ahead to Dubé. Dubé trying to cut across the blue line, but he's turned away as Stanstead will have to tag up and respond as that's settled behind the net for Burchett. Burchett playing catch now, stepping out from behind the net over to DeRush. DeRush over to Stewart, who chops it ahead to Walker, but that's played ahead by Stanstead. Stewart, long shift for him. Yes, he's still out there as that puck gets interrupted by Banks. And he'll chase after Stewart, but Stewart will send it back over to Burchett. Back to Stewart. Banks still on him as he muscles him off the puck. And now Stewart finally able to get that one out. But we're chipping that one ahead. Banks will send it over to Logan. 3-on-2 here for the Spartans. Here's Logan down the wing. He'll fan on that one, and that will kickstart the Ridley attack as this is Walker with it. Walker trying to go through DeSantis, but DeSantis kicks that one away as Orr now with it behind the net for Stanstead. Orr Forechecked hard there by Walker, but Orr able to get away. Or to the wall for Logan as he'll keep coming through the middle and chip that one in. But here's Gurin with it. Gurin cross ice to Walker. One of Ridley's goal scorers today as he chucks the puck into himself. As he waits for the change to finish up as that one gets rimmed around to Gurin. Gurin down to Partridge. Down to White. Here's White with it as he gets tight to the net, but that's turned over. But sent to the line. We're kept in by Bruchette. Bruchette to goal. That goes wide. Off the boards to Orr as he gets knocked down behind the goal. And White throwing his weight around out there as that puck sent to the wall. And now down to White. White looking out front, but that's Gans who picks that one up. And here comes Emmanuel Gans as he pushes ahead. Gans chipping that one past Gurin and into the Ridley zone as O'Brien looking to get it there for the Spartans, but unable to do so. Gans now working as that puck gets sent to Malloy and now up to Foot at the point. Here's Logan Foot walking the blue line. Logan Foot looking for a lane of stick. He still circles. He tries to give it to Gans, but that's sent away as Naquano now with it. He'll turn it over to Gans at the line, and puck still in the Ridley end, but Gurin with it now. Gurin over to Naquana. Naquana now crossing the red line, coming in. He is bumped off the puck as good play there by Logan Foot. Ridley still with it, though, as this is PSHA. PSHA to Gilbert at the line. Gilbert turning. Gilbert surveying. Gilbert putting one on net. That's blocked by Gans. Kept in by Gilbert, though, as he puts another one towards net. That rattles around into the boards where Shepard will claim it. Shepard over to O'Brien. That's a little bit ahead of him. So Gilbert will send that one back in and keep those Stanstead defenders out there as Shepard looking to chip one to himself. That's broken up by Heisey. Heisey to PSHA. PSHA looking for the diving defender Gilbert, but that's knocked away as Stanstead will now be able to change. Gilbert with it now as he will move it to the wall for PSHA, who dumps it in. Shimon out to stop it. Shimon getting to his forehand and rimming up the wall, where it's chopped ahead by Dobosh to Arrigo. Arrigo to the neutral zone, but transition nicely and big hit by Fred Bork as he knocks Miller down to the ice. But Ridley with it in the offensive zone as that puck's flipped ahead to Dobosh. He'll get it to the line, but not out as Gilbert holds the line. Gilbert to Shalifor. Shalifor over to DeRush. DeRush looking to cut in, but defended nicely as that puck gets knocked off the stick of Shepard. And now Dobosh with it now as he exits the zone. Dobosh getting by his defender. Here comes Matej Dobosh. Matej Dobosh snapping one angle, but saved by Picard as Fauché moves it to Bork. At the point, Bork stepping in. Shot, and that gets tipped out of play by Matej Dobosh. All players in the box returning to their respective benches. As Coach Matthew Thompson will send Alexi Labo out there to take the draw. As we have 3 minutes remaining in this second period. That puck is won by Labo to the wall, but Banks got knocked down as this puck is sent into one of the banners in the arena for a whistle. So this face-off coming back into the Ridley end. It'll be Lavoie against DeRush on the draw. As that one's to the wall and back to Fauché. Over to Bork, one-timer. That's blockered away. But that puck comes back out in front and sticked away there by Picard. As Lavoie tries to get that one down. But here comes DeRush with it. DeRush ahead to Piché, but he's bumped off the puck there as he continues to chase Fauché with it. But Fauché, good play up the wall to Logan as he's tackled down the ice. Here comes Piché with it now as he dances around. But that's eventually turned over to Banks as he gets knocked down by Piché. And now sent in by Stanstead. Picard out to stop it. Bit of a miscommunication behind the net there, but able to get the puck to Wolf, no problem. That's turned over to Lavoie out front, and that is blocked by Bruchette in front, as that was Dubé with another chance. Here's Wolf with it. He'll get it to the wall, but that's turned over there to DeSantis as Bonnet throws one towards snap, but that hits the foot of Bruchette, and will go behind. And then here's Gesink with it on the wall. Gesink will high flip one into the neutral zone to Dylan Orr. as he moves it ahead to Dubé. Dubé off the stick of Wolf, and that will go in on Picard for a whistle. 1:47 left now in this second period. As this will be O'Brien lining up to take the draw for the Spartans. O'Brien will lose that draw as Gurin moves it to the wall for Walker. Walker flipping ahead to Gasink, and he'll put that one behind Dylan Orr, but he'll be first to it as he reverses this one to his defense partner DeSantis, who will put one up the wall into the feet of O'Brien, who will get it ahead to Stewart as he transitions the puck to White. White looking through the middle to Walker, but that pass goes errant as O'Brien will get the puck to Bonnet on the wall, and that'll get sent in, but now Ridley will have to tag up, so Bonnet with time to make his next pass. That gets broken up by Walker, though, and that'll get chipped back into the Stanstead end as Gasink chases DeSantis. But DeSantis will wheel around the net and move it up to O'Brien, who chips off glass, but good hand-eye there by Gurin to keep it in. Gurin will come down the wall. Gurin trying to throw one out front, but he gets knocked down, and now Dubé will come away with it. Dubé ahead to Bonnet, but that's turned over and into the Stanstead end, but DeSantis will hammer it up to Dubé. Dubé leaving it for Bonnet, but just a bit ahead of him as Bonnet will give it back to Foot at the blue line. Foot putting one on goal, but that's blocked. Gans able to keep that one in for Stanstead. Gans over to Hayden. Hayden with a shot right into the bread basket of Picard as now we have 30 seconds remaining in the middle frame with the face-off coming to Picard's left. As Coach Thompson will send his top line out there. As Malloy set to take the draw, but that is one, and Shalifor will send that one around. That gets by Shepard, but will not go for icing, so Partridge in on the forecheck there for Ridley in his feet. As he gets that to Nakwana, who will get it up to Shalifor. Over to Gilbert, over to Shalifor, that's blocked. Nakwana with it. He finds Shalifor, but that is deflected off the stick of Gans and goes into the Ridley bench. Everyone all right there? But this faceoff will come back into the Stanstead zone to the left of Andrew Shimon. 5.8 seconds left, so certainly time for one last shot here. See what the Tigers draw up here offensively as PSHA trying to win that draw, but well done by Gans to win that one as that goes back to Shepard, who will just look to kill some time, and that will drop down. The clock will drop down to 0, so 4-3 Ridley after the second period. Shots now 20-18 for the Tigers as we will return for an exciting third period here after the flood. And we're back for the third period here at the Pat Burns Arena between Ridley and Stanstead. Ridley now up 4-3 heading into this final frame. Let's see if the Spartans can tie this one up and make it exciting as we have 20 more minutes here. We will start this period 5-on-5. Shots to start the period are 20-18 for the Tigers. Malloy and DeRush out to take the opening draw. And here we go as this puck is won back to Shepard, who will send it across to Foote. Foote up to Hayden, but that is out of his reach as Foote will get it back. Foote to Hayden again, but he's harassed there, but Gans will eventually chip it out to Burchett, who will try to transition, but that puck gets worked to Hayden as he cross lines. Gans puts one on net, and Picard will stick that one out of play. So Gans will step in and take the draw. Against White. As that draw is won by White. Now Burchett rimming it around. Foote on the wall. He isn't able to keep that puck in as that puck gets by him. And Gesink puts that in deep. As Shepard tries to poke that ahead, but Gesink to it. Gesink will put it back down where Shepard with it. He'll get it to Hayden on the wall. And that gets put into the middle of the ice as Gesink tries to dance away. But it's Shepard again as he'll get the puck to Gans. Gans now off the shin pad of White and all the way back into the Ridley end, where Hayden will chase after it. Hayden and Burchett now getting tangled in the corner, but that puck getting worked around to DeSantis, who will push it down, and the defenseman now working down low as he'll chip that puck back in deep for Hayden and retreat back to his defensive position. But here comes White with it now. That puck gets picked off by Arrigo, but Hayden already in the defensive zone would have put that play offside, so having to dump that puck in. As that puck gets moved ahead to Partridge, he'll go rink wide for Nakwana, but that's turned over as Mustinen will put it in on Picard. And Wolf will steal it from his goaltender and keep the play going as he gets that puck up to Nakwana on the half wall, and Nakwana will give it back to Wolf, who turns it over to Mustinen in the high slot. Here's Juuso Mustinen shooting high to the over top of the net as now Gurin gets the puck out. Gurin over to Partridge on the far side. Partridge in, but he's stick checked nicely there by Orr as that puck hits the back of the netting, and Orr will take it and get it ahead. Mustinen will put that into the corner where Dobosh will take Piche, but Piche able to turn up the boards and get the puck to the line, but Orr keeping it in for Stanstead. Orr down to Mustinen. Mustinen on goal, and that just off the head, off from the behind the net, and that was a dangerous look there as that puck hit Picard in the head and then put back on goal from behind the net, but goaltender lucky that didn't bank off him and into the goal. But here comes Ridley ahead as that puck goes off the stick of Bork, and now Giannetti with it. But Giannetti will send that puck around to Nakwana. Nakwana, puck to Giannetti in the slot. He flutters one on goal, and Shimon will collect for the whistle. As this faceoff will come to the left of Andrew Shimon, with Alexei Lavoie taking the draw against Etienne Piche. That draw is won by Piche to Heisey. Heisey to Stewart, who will try to get that deep, but that's cut off. And here comes Fosha with it as he circles the net. Chaz Fosha giving it up to Bonin, but that's turned over in the neutral zone and sent in deep. Shimon out to play it. He'll give that puck to Bork. Bork will look cross ice to Dubé as that goes in on Picard, who will cover up for a whistle. Some good geometry there by Fred Bork for that bank pass to go right in on goal and not go wide for icing. So this faceoff will come in the Ridley end as Bonin out there to take the draw for Stanstead. Bonin will win that draw back to Foot. Foot puts on that rebound. Lou scores! Max Bonin cleaning up the garbage in front of the net. And we do have a 4-4 hockey game. Seemingly harmless shot from Logan Foot on goal, and Picard not able to control that rebound as Bonin was Johnny on the spot to collect and bury that one. And it is tie game here with 16:50 left in the third period. And we will have to redo the center ice faceoff as there is some early movement. Stanstead tries to run a little trickery there off the draw, but prevented there by Ridley as this puck gets worked over to Stewart. Stewart skating with it as he'll find a stick, and as that gets chipped in deep as Shepard coming around with it. Shepard up to Dubé, but that's turned over. Dubé back to Shepard now, up to Foot. Foot up to Bonin on the far side, but that will be offside. Bonin getting a late shot on goal there, but that will not count. So this faceoff will come outside the Tigers zone, right in front of the Ridley bench, where DeRush will take the faceoff against Corey Logan. That draw is won by DeRush and sent to Chalifour. Chalifour, he stood up at the blue line, so Ridley will have to come out as DeRush dumps it cross corner. Ridley works it around, but it will be Fred Bork on it as DeRush claiming the puck in the corner. Chalifour down the wall, so he'll cut that off as he works the puck back, and that's put on net for Shimon, but that's off his pad and wide as O'Brien gets that puck out to center, and Stewart rimming that puck in. Shimon unable to stop it, so it'll have to be DeSantis who plays it. DeSantis will get it around to Bork, and Bork through the middle to Logan, but a bit too strong as Ridley comes across the line, and a good blocker save there by Shimon, and another shot saved by Shimon. Two shots from the outside there as now the Stanstead goaltender in some discomfort. We'll see if he's okay. As he looks like he's shaking his knee, but he will stay in the game as this faceoff will come to the right of Maxence Picard. So be Gans taking the draw, but he'll lose it as Wolf looks at it. He'll give it to Nakwana. Nakwana ahead, but that's turned over as that is chipped into the Ridley bench by the defenseman. Brichette, as he had Hayden barreling down on him. So this face-off will come into the Ridley zone. This will be Malloy now on the draw. Malloy and Gans each handling face-off duties on this line. Malloy will win that one back to Orr, but a Ridley player getting kicked out, so we'll do it again. So White will leave and Nakwana will come in for the face-off. That's one by Nakwana and one back where it's moved up to Partridge. Partridge flipping one in the air as Fauché keeps that puck on the good side of the blue line, and Ridley will enter offside. So this faceoff will come right in front of the Stanstead bench now, as Malloy and White line up for it. Faceoff won by the Tigers as they enter the zone, but turned over quickly to Hayden. As DeSantis with it now. DeSantis looking up ice but losing it and having to circle back. DeSantis now with the puck. DeSantis to Malloy. Up to Gans as that gets poked ahead. And Wolf now on it for Ridley. Here's Hayden out front to Orr. Orr scores! Tanner Hayden putting that puck into the slot. Dylan Orr fighting it, and he rips one over the shoulder of Picard as the Spartans take their first lead of the hockey game. Now 5-4 Spartans with 14:44 left in the third period. Some defensemen getting in on the Spartans offense today, or in foot. So now Arrigo and Piché will line up for the ensuing faceoff, which is, again, called back by the center ice official. So we will do it all again. Stanstead now leading the shots on goal for the first time in this game, now up 25-24. This puck is won back to Gilbert. Gilbert will dump that one in on Shimon, who will cover up. Tricky puck there as that could have bounced any which direction, but Shimon able to block it and cover. So this faceoff will come to his right as Piché will line up against Arrigo on the draw. Piché will lose that one as Shepard flips that one off glass of the line to Gilbert, but here comes Dobos with it now. Dobos working on Gurham. Dobos in, saved by Picard. Good head of steam there by Mate Dobos, but a key save there by the Tigers goaltender. As now Ridley looking to break out, as this is Gilbert with it. Gilbert over to Gurham. Gurin, as that gets shipped to the line for Gilbert. Gilbert cross ice to Giannetti, but that is off black, so no icing. But Shepard will wheel around the net. Shepard will give that puck to Fauché, and Fauché will look for Dobos up the wall, who will flip it over the stick of Gilbert and back into the Tigers' end. So Gilbert with it as he drops it for Heisey, and Heisey skates up ice. Heisey splitting a couple Stanstead players as Heisey continues to dance, and he'll work over to Miller on the far side. He'll drag and shoot, but that's sticked away by Shimon. Fauché with it now. He'll work it over to Bourque. Bourque back to Fauché, and Fauché will send it up to Dubé. Dubé, a goal scorer in this game, will give it to Lavoie, who tips that puck in as Chalifour retrieves it for Ridley, but kept down low. But now Chalifour with it as he looks to get ahead, and he'll give it to Piché, who works it over to Miller, who gives it back to Piché. Here comes Piché one-on-one on Fauché. He'll go around Fauché, but into the slot for Miller, and he'll fan on it. That goes back to Stewart at the point. Stewart trying to get one through. Ooh, and just off the foot of Lavoie, missing the net. But here it is in the slot for Baker, and that goes over the net. Excuse me. But that puck will go to Dubé in the neutral zone, and he'll get it just into the Ridley end. As Chalifour will give that puck to Stewart, who will give it to Desrush. Desrush up to Gasink as that puck stays in, but that now works into the neutral zone and fired back in by the Ridley defender. Shimon out to stop it for Orr as Orr exits the net. He'll give that puck to DeSantis. DeSantis trying to go through the middle but blocked off, so he'll send that puck in deep as Picard out to play. Picard able to get one up the wall, but O'Brien cuts it off. O'Brien losing that puck to Walker, and now here comes Stewart with it now. Stewart, one-on-one. He'll drop it back to Gasink. Gasink, toe drag, walk around. He'll circle the net. Gasink will circle it back for Desrush, but he's not there, so Logan will get that puck up to Banks. Banks now working. He'll put that puck into the corner as he bodies his player and takes down defenseman Wolf behind the net. The 2-on-2 battle behind the net as Banks emerges with it. Banks will give it to Foot, but that's bobbled and out. So now into the neutral zone it goes. Stewart with it. Back to Wolf. He'll put it off the wall, but Shepard first to it, and he'll simply punch it back down as Gans will race first hard on the forecheck, and he falls feet first into the boards. Seems to be okay. Gets back up and still pursues that puck as he'll go into the net front, but now not finding any stick and exiting the zone. So Shepard back to retrieve it. Shepard to Foot, back to Shepard. Shepard through the middle to Hayden as that gets tipped in on Picard, who will stop and cover up. With 11:04 remaining here in the third period. Gans will line up with it. Gans back shot to Brody Malloy for a shot, but that gets deflected and misses. And then as foot pinches down, but unable to keep the puck in. Nikwana goes ahead with it. He'll go rink wide to Partridge. Partridge now sending one in. Shimon out to stop it. And he'll rim it off glass. Around to his forward. Oh, a big hit there by Logan Foote. But we will have a penalty as Logan Foote absolutely laid the boom there on Ben Gurn. Gurn appearing to be okay. But now Ridley will go to the power play here with 10:45 left in this third period. As Foote will go off for 2 minutes. For those who tuned in last night, Foote got sent off for a 4-minute head contact penalty, but this time appearing only to be for the minimum 2. So the Ridley power play will look to get to work here as that draw is won by Gesink to the wall as some players will battle for it. That puck is eventually possessed by Bourque as he tries to keep that puck pinned against the wall, but now turned over to Emmanuel Gans as he powers up ice and chips one deep into the Ridley end. Gans still on it. Gans now stripped of the puck by Partridge, and Ridley looking to get away. Partridge will go rink ice to Nikwana. But now Nikwana working on Fauché. Nikwana circling the net, trying to go to the point for Gesink. Gesink chopping it, but Bourque able to get that puck out of the Stanstead zone as Gans shields and gives it to Malloy. Here comes Brody Malloy working in. Malloy shoots, and he just misses to the blocker side as Ridley looks to counter. And here comes Walker. Walker stood up there by DeSantis, so Orr to it first, and he'll flip it high off glass and out of zone as Coach McCourt calls his power play unit off the ice. As Gurin now with it. Gurin out from behind the net. He'll give it to Heisey. Heisey back to Gurin. Gurin over to White, who will rim it around for DeRush. DeRush taps it back to Heisey. Heisey now to the point for Gurin. Here's Gurin over to White. He drags, but that's now Kiv's stick by DeSantis as he gives that puck down to Gurin. Over. Now White with it. White to Gurin. Gurin to White. White on goal, and that's saved by Shimon. That hit the shin pad of Juuso Mustonen on the way in there, but Shimon able to get behind it and make a good save. 9:07 left here in the third period. 22 seconds left on the penalty to Logan Foote. So maybe one last set here for Ridley as PSHA wins the draw back to Gurin. Gurin will give that puck over to White. White back up to Gurin. Gurin shooting on net. That's tipped into the body of Shimon for the save. 10 seconds left now on the penalty to Foote. As Ridley will send out an extra defender now as the penalty clock winds down. Don't want to take any risks here. Here is White with it. White will win it back to Gurin. Gurin walking the line, shooting, and Shimon with the glove save. 5 seconds now left on the disadvantage. So White will line back up to take the draw. White losing that one, and now Shepard with it. So we'll return to 5-on-5 here. Stanstead with a successful kill as PSHA with it behind the net now. PSHA working on Fauché. PSHA over to DeRush. DeRush up to Stewart. Stewart over to Gurin. He fumbles. Gurin shooting. That hits a couple bodies on the way to the net and will go wide. As Shepard chips that one to the wall, but DeRush keeps it in. Battle on the half wall just in front of the Stanstead bench. As that's still loose. Ref now picked up to PSHA, but that's taken off his stick, and Bonin now away with it. Here comes Max Bonin with it. Bonin entering, shooting. That hits a stick and goes wide. Lavoie with it now, but he loses it. And here comes Victor Piché. Victor Piché will chip it into the Stanstead end, and he'll chase after it. He's first to it, but cut off there by Lavoie. Piché now without a stick and a glove, so hard to play the puck in those circumstances, but he almost cuts that pass off as Arrigo works it to Lavoie. Lavoie will send that puck in deep with Picard out to play it. Picard will send it over to his defenseman, Brichette. Brichette now back over to Chalifour as Brichette gets it again. And now rink wide to Piché. Piché to the middle for Walker, and we will have, not Walker, Miller, and we will have an offside call as some more bodies flying around. Bit more tame of a third period here as the stakes get higher and higher for each team. As this faceoff will be outside the Stanstead end towards the glass, with Arrigo taking the draw for Stanstead. Arrigo will lose that draw to Gasink. That puck's moved to Brichette and put in. Shimon out to play it. Shimon will tap it to Foot, who moves it ahead to Logan. Logan will rim it around for Burke. Burke now under pressure by Walker, as that puck is sent to the point for Chalifour. Chalifour will send it back down deep for Partridge, but it's let go to Walker. Walker now working on Foot. Walker giving it to Gasink. Gasink now wheeling the zone. Gasink putting that one in deep to Walker. Walker out front, but it's Partridge in front. Big save by Shimon off of Gasink as he was left alone in front of the net. As that puck's worked in to Arrigo, and Arrigo will chip that one out into the neutral zone where Chalifour will stop it. And now Foot with it. He'll send it in deep. Picard will stop that puck behind the net as that puck is worked to Chalifour. Here comes Chalifour with it now. Chalifour will send it in on Shimon, who will freeze up for a whistle. And this faceoff will come to his right, where Brody Malloy will take the faceoff against White. Malloy pushing that one ahead to Gans as Gans streaks at it. He has Hayden crashing it. Gans trying to get that one to Hayden, but nice defensive play there by Gilbert to disrupt. As Giannetti now with it. He'll put that one high off glass into the Stanstead end as Orr back to retrieve it. Orr up the wall to Hayden, who will put it off. Ooh, bad bounce off the boards there, but no one driving the net too hard for Stanstead, so not a big issue as Gilbert rushes the puck up now. Gilbert will put that puck into the corner for Giannetti as he's pushed into the wall there by DeSantis. So Malloy away with it. He'll give it to Hayden. Hayden, cross ice to Gans. He'll collect with one hand and keep that puck going into the corner. But here's Wolf with it. Wolf off the skate of Malloy, so that puck will stay in. And now flipped to the line and kept in by Shepard. Here's Malloy to Gans in the high slot. He fans on that one. And now thrown on goal from a sharp angle. And now whistled down as Bakar covers up. 5:20 left here in the third period, as Stanstead looks to get some insurance while Ridley looks to tie this one back up. Arrigo out to take the draw for the Spartans against Desrush. One by Arrigo, back to Mustonen. Mustonen will put that down low for Dobosh, but it is Gurin there first for Ridley. Here's Gurin with it. He looks up ice. Gurin cutting. He'll get it off the stiff of Nakwana into the Stanstead zone as that puck bounces in on Shimon, and he'll cover up for the whistle. Faceoff coming to his left now, as Desrush and Arrigo will line up. That puck is won by Desrush to Piché. Piché now up to Gurin at the point, but pushed back down for PSHA. PSHA into the slot for Nakwana. Nakwana on goal. That misses to the blocker side of Shimon as that is put out by Mustonen and regrouped to Gurin. Gurin, he'll flip that one right to Max Shepard, but that's poked off his stick by DeRush as Nakwana comes to help on the forecheck. Nakwana battling on the boards, trying to get the puck out of Shepard's feet. As Shepard will throw that one ahead to the wall, but it's PSHA who's there first for Ridley. And DeRush puts that back down for Nakwana. Nakwana pushing it to PSHA, but that's poked ahead as Nakwana still battling for it. Now, but wrestles with Shepard again as that puck is finally pushed to Foot, and Foot will get it to Dobosh. And Dobosh kept in by Nakwana, but now Dobosh finally able to get that puck to center to Stewart. Stewart across to Gurin. Stanstead changes, and that puck's thrown behind the net to Gesink. Gesink in front, but that's not getting there as Lavoie will flip that one high and down the ice, but not enough steam for icing as Stewart now turns and circles. Stewart up ahead to Gesink to Stewart. Stewart tripped up, and no call as that puck rolls in on Shimon. Stewart trying to cut inside on the Stanstead defenseman and gets tripped up, but no penalty call there. As 3:39 left here in this third period. This is Gesink on the draw. He'll win it to Partridge, who will get it to the line for Chalifour. Chalifour down to Partridge. He'll try to shovel it into the middle, but no one home as Bonin gets it. Bonin will get it to try to get to Lavoie, but that goes right to Partridge as Lavoie will poke it off his stick down to Chalifour. Chalifour over to Brichette. Brichette into the middle for Gesink as he gets ahead of steam. Here comes Gesink. He'll put it in deep as Fauché gets to it to his forehand, and he's cut off there by Walker. Walker circling now. Walker into the middle, but knocked off his stick by Lavoie. Walker still with it. Walker into the slot to the front of the net, and unable to pull the trigger is Partridge as Walker's put out front. Another shot on goal, but that is off of Shimon and now put into the netting by Chaz Fauché. So we will have a whistle back in the Stanstead end. Under 3 minutes left to play here in this third period. This will be White out there to take the draw against Logan. Face-off won there by White as that puck's put to net. Rebound lying in the crease, but cleared away by DeSantis. DeSantis now back with the puck as he looks to get the red line and dump that puck in. DeSantis will put that in, but he's stood up there by Brichette as Picard rims this around. Ridley looking to get that puck as Banks puts one on net, and that's sticked away by Picard. Here comes Brichette, though. Brichette up to White. White goes cross-ice off the stick of Orr to where Nakwana looks to win it back. To Logan to the point, and that gets through Brichette and out into the neutral zone. So Brichette will have to go back for it. Brichette over to Chalifour. Chalifour back to Brichette. Brichette ahead to the flipped ahead. Here to Nakwana as he tried to put one to net there, but now it gets put to net, no one home. Brichette now over to Nakwana. Nakwana trying to put another one out front, but that is defended as Malloy skates with the puck. Malloy turns the puck over to Nakwana. Nakwana in, shot, save, blocker save by Shimon. As that rebound will go to the corner. Well, Malloy will collect again as he's hitting it hard into the boards. He'll get that puck to Shepard, who turns over to Stewart. Here's Partridge in the slot. Partridge missing over top of the net. As Ridley's putting the pressure on now. That puck goes from Stewart to Gurin. That's blocked by his own teammate Walker down by the goal as that looks to get flipped up by DeSantis, but that's turned over. Gurin will put that one deep. Gurin keeping that one in and putting it back in for Walker. Walker looking to swing one in front, but that's... And now played with the high stick by Gurin, so this faceoff will come outside with 1:12 remaining. Ridley pushing hard, having pulled the goalie for a 6-on-5 opportunity. And we'll see if we get a timeout called here by either coach. But none doing. They're going to send Picard back in. And now Coach Mike Ricourt will call timeout. We'll see what they draw up here for the neutral zone faceoff. Shots now 34-29 for the Tigers. Shimon really stepping up here in this third period, making a few clutch saves to maintain the Spartans' lead here. As the clock will run out. So both teams should be getting to the dot momentarily. As it will be Partridge, Gesink, Nikwana, DeRush, and Stewart. Goaltender Picard back in the net. But starting near the hash marks as that draws one by Stanstead and chipped out into the neutral zone as that gets by Stewart. Good hustle here by Hayden to win the puck head. Hayden to net. As Gans now with it. Gans now up to Malloy. Malloy putting that back down to Gans. Gans it will rim it back around for Hayden. Stanstead just looking to kill some time here in the Tigers' offensive zone, or defensive zone rather. As that puck is finally won back to Partridge, and now Ridley will have to get going here. As 45 seconds now left on the clock, and here comes Gesink stopping up. Gesink will stop. Gesink up to Stewart. Stewart flips it cross ice to Nikwana as he comes in. Nikwana shooting right into the chest of Shimon. Although a good shot on that by Nikwana to get a face-off. And now they can organize their 6-on-5. So Walker looks like the extra forward out there as White will come and take the draw. White back to Nikwana. Nikwana, good block there by Max Shepard to the line and out by Tanner Hayden as Nikwana comes back to get the puck. Less 20 seconds remaining now so Ridley will have to hurry. Here comes Stewart up with it. Looking to get that puck in deep, but unable to do so as that puck is sent back into the Ridley zone. Malloy racing to it. Malloy will put it into the empty nets. 6-4 Stanstead with 10 seconds remaining in the third period, so that will just about do it. As Stanstead will move to 2-0 in round robin play and dodge the elimination game tomorrow morning as Ridley will fall to 0-2 and have to play that extra game to keep their season alive. As this draw is won, but it's all a formality at this point as Gilbert will move the puck over to Wolf, who will kill the clock. 3-2 and 1. And that's a victory for the Stanstead College Spartans. Back-to-back barn burners here at the Pat Burns Arena. That will do it for live coverage here at the Pat Burns Arena. There's another game at Molson Arena right now between the Bishop's College School Bears and Upper Canada College Blues, but that'll do it for us. Stick around for today's player of the game presentation. I will attempt to go 2 for 2 today. Okay, commentator choices. For Ridley, I will just guess Chase Partridge. So this will go to Kyo Stewart, the defenseman. He also had a very solid game for the Tigers. Well deserved. And for Stanstead, I will guess number 7, Logan Foote. So this will go to Dylan Orr, the other defenseman who's scoring today. Again, well deserved. So I go 0 for 2 there. But that'll do it for coverage here. So thanks for joining.